Hello student, welcome to Historian YouTube platform. Today what we have started is that mastering UPSC with new NCERT. I have decided to prepare the videos of about 10 to 15 minutes for each chapters of class 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 and 12 NCERT of Indian history and world history. This will help us to understand what is there in the chapter through simple concept that I will discuss with you, and then you will try to test your knowledge through the MCQ that we discuss in the last of the each video. So within 15 minutes of the lecture, I will be make you understand about the simple concept of the chapter of NCERT of each chapters, and then we will discuss that what is the other important things you should remember from the MCQs based on the UPSC and other PCS examination. Okay, that is introduction, what, where, how and when. Today we will understand the simple concept of this chapter, and we will try to also test our knowledge through the MCQ that I have prepared, which will further help you to understand and prepare for your UPSC prelims and mains examination also. Okay student, so as you know that in the introduction the first important theme is there, what can we know about the past. See, about the past we can know anything, how people were eating, what kind of clothes they were wearing, which type of houses they were living in. We can find more information about the life of hunters, herders, farmers, rulers, merchants, princes, craft person, artisans, scientists, musicians, etc. The second theme is that where did the people live? Where did the people live? As you can see in the map, especially if I show you the map of India of the time, these are the map where the peoples were living, especially the most of the peoples were living nearby the areas of the rivers only. Okay, so what you find here is that the peoples were living in the different part of the country for the 1000 years, and some of the earliest people who lived here were the skilled gatherers, that they were gathering the foods resources from the forest. They collected roots and the fruits and other products also. Okay, apart from it, these people started growing the crops for the first time in the Indian land, growing the crops, and the first example of the growing crops we find especially from the Mehergarh. So Mehergarh size where for the first example we find the crop like wheat and barley is available to us. Okay, this is what we know about the first people. Now the second theme they have discussed about the name of the land, how this name was given. You know that the India has got the word called Bharat. भारत जो हमारा वर्ड है, ये वर्ड हमारा भारत क्लेन से पड़ता है जो ऋग वेदा में मेंशन है. So this Bharat we getting from the ऋग वेदा. The second name is that is called Hindu. From where the word Hindu, how do we get the word Hindu? You know that there is a river called Indus. This is the Indus river. So when especially the Persians came to India, around 550 BC. The first person to come to India was Cyrus. So these people had a difficult pronunciation of the river called Sindhu. ये हमारा सिंधु नदी था, तो इन्होंने सिंधु को एस ना पढ़ के इन्होंने पढ़ा हिंदू. So this is the way we got the word called Hindu. So people who were living in the eastern side of this river was called Hindu. When apart from Persian, when the Greek people came to India around 3rd century BC, which people? I am talking about the Greek people. Okay, so when the Greek people came to India, they had a mispronunciations of the Hindu. So that is why they removed this word called H, and they started calling this word called Hindu, and in the Hindu plural become Indus. So this is the way the river Indus got its name, and the people who were living in the eastern side of Indus, these all people were known as Indian by the Greek people. This is the way we got the name of these things as is mentioned in the writings. Apart from it, what do we know more about the past? The most important things we know about the past is the manuscripts. You know, these manuscripts, it is known as manuscript because it was written by hand, that the hand से लिखी जाती थी. That is why it is called manuscript. They were usually written on the palm leaves or especially type prepared bark of the tree, which is as the birch. The birch tree palm leaves पे बनते थे. This is an example of the manuscript we can face. So this is a page of palm leaf manuscript. This is written 1000 years ago. Palm leaves are cut in pages and tied up together to make a book. Apart from that, pottery are the other examples for us to study. Apart from poetry, the most important example of a study is the inscriptions. So inscriptions play a very important role in understanding ancient Indian history, student. So what we know about the inscriptions and all. This is a major example of inscriptions from the Sota. It is written into the two different languages, as you can visible from this point of view. So inscriptions play a very important role. It was mostly written in the hard surface पे लिखी जाती थी. So the sometime kings got their orders inscribed so that the people could see, read and obey them. There are other kinds of inscriptions as well, where the men and women, including kings and queens, recorded what they did. जो करते थे वो भी लिखवाते थे. For example, kings often kept record of their victories in the battles. There were many other things that were also made used in the past. So those who study objects called inscriptions and all, they are mostly known as the archaeologists. So study remains of the building made of the stone and brick are the things that is discussed by these people. Archaeologists also look for the bones of animals, birds and the fish and find out what people ate in the past. The plant remains and other things are also discussed by these people, student. Historians, that is scholars who study the past, often use the word source. So source is a very important to understand हिंदी. Source को हम दो पार्ट में जनरली बांटते हैं. One is a literature and other is a the archaeology source. Okay, this is what we know about this one. So there are different types of past. In the past we have farmers, herders, kings, queens, merchants and different sections of the peoples were living in the past. It is mentioned in the class it's NCERT. What do dates means? Dates are very important student. आपको पता है dates में कैलेंडर बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है और पूरे वर्ल्ड में जो भी कैलेंडर यूज होता है वो हमारा Georgian calendar. According to this Georgian calendar that is started in the time of around 0, when this is the birth of the Jesus Christ of Christianity, है ना. तो जीसस क्राइस्ट के बर्थ के बाद हमारे पास जो है स्टार्ट होता है, हम बोलते हैं. तो कई सारे चीज़ हम यूज करते हैं. एक वर्ड है एडी. एडी मतलब होता है एनी डोमिनी, दैट इज इन द बर्थ ऑफ द इन द ईयर ऑफ द लॉर्ड व्हेन द Lord Christ was word. Otherwise is a BC, that is called before Christ. Some word are the BP. BP means before past. आज से उतने साल पहले उसे हम before past बोलेंगे. So this is the way the latest dates and BC AD had been used by the people. So we will solve some questions related to this topic in our last theme of this lecture. So let us discuss now some questions based on the class 6 NCERT, whether you are able to recall these things or not. Okay, let us test the knowledge. So first question आपका है, which of the following statements best describes the ancient region of Magad and the movement of people in the ancient India? Option: Magad, located to the north of the Ganga river, was a minor region with limited historical limited. Question क्या पूछ रहा है? Correct पूछ रहा है. This statement will be false for us. The area along with the rivers of south of Ganga, known as Magad in ancient times, was a powerful kingdom located in present day Bihar, where rulers established a large kingdom. Seems to be true. Yeah, it seems to be true. Let us see the other options also. In ancient India, the movement of people was strictly limited due to presence of natural barriers such as hills, high mountains, deserts, rivers and seas. This seems to be false because movement of the people was not stopped. The primary reason for the people's movement in ancient India was solely to engage in trade and commerce. No, it was not only trade and commerce, it was a religious also, social also. So our answer should be the B. Detailed explanation of this question is given here, that why B should be the answer of this question. Okay, you can pause the video and watch this video again. Next question हमारा है, which of the following statements correctly explains the origin of the name India and Bharat for the country? Option A, the name India is derived from the river Ganga. Of course not, right? It is from the river Sindhu. Sindh नदी से है, ठीक है. False है. India comes from the Indus river. Seems to be true. Called Sindhu in Sanskrit. Iranian and the Greek who came to India around 2500 years call it Hindu or Indus. And the land of the east of the river was called India. Bharat was used for a group of people mentioned in the Rigveda. This seems to be a correct statement. Third, the name India is derived from the ancient kingdom of the Indrapas. No, it is false. The D, the India and the Bharat both originated from the same ancient text Rigveda. No, it is also false. So what is the answer? B should be the answer of this question. Okay. The question third पे चलते हैं. Which of the following statement correctly describes the sources and materials used to find out about the past? The option A, manuscript written by hand for modern book. Of course not, it is an ancient book. So this is a false. Manuscripts were written, handwritten documents from a long year ago, often written on palm leaves, birch bark, which help in finding out about the past. Seems to be correct. Manuscripts were written using advanced printing techniques on a specially prepared paper. No, it is not false, not advanced technique. The manuscript referred to ancient inscriptions carved on a stone and metal, providing information about ancient traders. No, it is also a false statement. Okay. So next questions हम देखते हैं student. Consider the following statement regarding the inscriptions used during the ancient period. The inscriptions were written on soft surface such as paper or cloth. Of course, not true. It is on the hard surface. The kings got their orders inscribed so that people could see, read, and obey them. It is true, and it seems to be true. Inscriptions were only used by kings and never by the queens or other individual. No, it is also false. So questions पूछ रहे हैं how many of the above statements are true? Only one, only two, only three, like all or none of the above. So what should be the answer, student? The answer of this question will be only one should be the answer of this question, that the statement 1 and 3 is false. So 2 will be the answer of this question. So हमारा आंसर A होता है उसका, ठीक है, मतलब हमारा आंसर A रहता है इसका, ठीक है. चलिए नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन देख ले. कंसीडर द फॉलोइंग स्टेटमेंट्स रिगार्डिंग द आर्कियोलॉजी एंड एंशिएंट इंडियन हिस्ट्री. आर्कियोलॉजिस्ट ओनली स्टडी ऑब्जेक्ट्स मेड ऑफ मेटल? ऑफ कोर्स नॉट. बोन्स वगैरह चीज़ें भी पढ़ते हैं. Studying tools, weapon, pots, pens, ornaments, and coins helps archaeologists to learn about everything in the past. Seems to be true. Which of the above statements are true? So, of course, answer only one तो नहीं होगा. B will be the answer of this question. Okay, student. All right. Consider the following statement regarding the dating system commonly used today. So, years continued from birth of the Jesus considered are denoted by AD, which stands for Anno Domini, meaning the in the year of the Lord. This is a true statement, right? Date before the birth of Christ were denoted by B. Yeah, it is also true. Before Christ. The term CE and BC are used instead of AD and BC, where CE stands common era and BC stands before common era. Yeah, this is also a true statement. So next question, term BPA stands for before past, as we discussed in the PPT also, is commonly used in the historical dating. So this is also a true statement. So which of the statements are even correct? One only no, false. A भी false है. This statement seems to be correct, C, और D का A भी false हमारा है, तो C will be the answer of this question, student. Okay, all right. So एक क्वेश्चन और देखते हैं. Consider the following historical events and their approximate dates. Beginning of agriculture around 8,000 years ago. Yeah, it is true, as you can discuss in your class with NCERT. The first cities on the Indus was 2,500 years ago. False. This is around 45 to 5,000 years ago. So this statement is false. The cities in Ganga Valley, a kingdom in the Magad, about 4,700 years ago. Ganga Valley पे है ना? नहीं, ये false है. ये हमारा 2,500 years ago है. Around 500 BC. So how many of the statements are correctly matched? So what will be the answer? Only one should be the answer of this question, student. Other statements are false. All right. So I hope you understood the class 6 chapter 1 NCERT. I will discuss in the next video about the class 6 chapter 2 NCERT. Okay, student, and some questions also, so that you can test your knowledge on the basis of reading these tests. All right. So we will see you in the other video. Thank you so much.